What is going on, everybody? We're back with episode two, season two of the Nerds Corner podcast. It's your host here, Way of the Lock, as well as my co-host, the Lone Wolf, and we are here with a good friend of the Lone Wolf. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Fernando Rosario. I'm originally from New York City. I served in the U.S. military, United States Air Force for 22 years as a pilot and engineer. Now I'm an influencer, so I travel around the world promoting small restaurants, culture. Of course, the food is connected to culture. Right now we're focused on Mexico. We've done projects with Netflix and other services that are smaller than Netflix. And we have something really big coming up, which we can't talk about yet because we're still reading the contract, make sure it benefits both sides. But I will be making a big announcement soon.
Hold on, sorry about that. My phone was going a little bit slow. There we go.
No, it's okay.
Whew, my phone scared the crap out of me. I didn't help but hear, but you said you served in the Air Force.
Yes, I was in the Air Force for 22 years as
Oh well. First of all, let me just say thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for
thank
your
you.
service, Fernando.
Thank you.
And then when Alan was telling me about you, he showed me your Instagram, and before this live started, you were telling us, you travel the world. I noticed on the Instagram you do a lot of like, it looks like you do like food tasting, or like you show off different foods in different areas.
That's correct. That's correct. We focus mostly on small restaurants.
Okay.
But of course, we've done big restaurants, but the street food and small restaurants are our main focus to support of what we consider the heart of the culture of the country or wherever it is. Right now, obviously, it happens to be Mexico, so we're focusing on the small street food restaurants in Mexico City and Puebla, well, or just Mexico in general.
All right, all right. Now probably Alan wants to know, and I want to know too. If you had to pick a dish that you've tried so far in all the places you went to, what is the favorite and or most creative dish that you
Hmm.
tried?
My favorite. It's hard because when people ask me what's my favorite Mexican food, I can come up with probably a list of 100 places. Of course, tacos, the standard tacos, which is very different from the tacos that we eat in the U.S. because they use a lot of different ingredients. Most ingredients are completely fresh, very authentic flavors like suadero and tripa are my two favorite tacos. Suadero is brisket and tripa is tripe, beef tripe. And
Hmm.
I also like lengua, which is beef tongue. Those are my three favorite tacos in Mexico. But then, of course, there's pozole, which is like a stew with corn and all different sorts of stuff. I mean, Mexico is so incredible. It's hard to just choose one dish as your favorite.
Did you? Okay, so because it's probably the just my headphones and whatnot. But did you mention something about tongue for the food? Or
I
am I
said
going
beef
beef
tongue,
tongue?
tripe,
Okay,
and suadero. Suadero is brisket. It's what is
okay.
here known as we know it as brisket in the U.S., but here it's called suadero.
Okay. Okay. Alan, you got any? Because I don't want to be the only one taking over. You got any questions for our host here, buddy?
Yeah, out of all the places you've been to, where's your favorite, like, country or wherever that you
Oh,
visited?
I would say this is the. I put it in this order, and obviously it doesn't matter which one is number one, two, and three, but I would say Mexico, Vietnam, and Thailand. Why? They're to me the best flavors and the best street food in the world come from those three countries, in my
Okay.
opinion. It's my opinion.
Now, again, I don't mean to repeat stuff. I just want to make sure I hear better. I hear good enough. You did say Thailand, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Mexico,
okay,
Vietnam, and Thailand.
okay. Interesting. Want to make sure I heard that part right. Um, Besides serving in the military and tasting food and traveling, is there anything else that you do on your spare time?
I mean, I still do freelance work as an engineer because that's what I studied at the university. I have a master's in engineering. I specifically deal with airplanes, but any kind of machine, of course, if you put it in front of me, even if I don't know, I'll figure it out pretty quickly how to fix it. And since I was a kid, I love playing with taking things apart, putting them back together. So I still do a lot of freelance engineering, mostly as a consultant. And once in a while, I work as a pilot. Not often, but once in a while, I fly a plane.
Okay, okay. Now, this is mostly for our viewers, but this can also be for us as well. Because for season two, we want to do something where, and we explained it off camera, where we want to have a quote of the day or a quote of the episode. Both, so for the viewers at who are watching this, you can tell in the background, but we're kind of blocking our faces. So today's quote is be selective, learn who to know and who to know. And I feel like now that I think about it, this is probably appropriate with our guest because in your experience and with your traveling, you probably had experiences where you had to have the ability to be selective about the right person to know and the right person like who to say no to, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think just I can even use it in my current job as an influencer. There's a lot of times where people want to work with you, but and sometimes, of course, the personality clashes, and it's just so different that it's really difficult. And of course, I respectfully tell them, look, I have to decline just because I think your idea and my idea are so far away. I don't mind ideas being different, of course, because two different people are always going to have a different approach. But when it's so far out there, it's difficult to work with. And I've had that once in a while where I've had to turn down influencers who want to work with me because they've seen me on TV, they see me do stuff, and I don't. And for me, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. I don't care if you have one follower. If we have chemistry, I will work with you. But if it just doesn't work, we don't gel. Then it's not worth my time and their time because I feel
Yeah.
like we both will be wasting each other's time. So I'm always selective in who I work with.
All right.
And
Yes.
what
Well,
we do for this season is we usually like ask. We mostly do it for mental health, but we would like to ask if there's anyone struggling out there. What kind of advice would you give them?
Ooh, well, as a veteran, of course, I went through war. I mean, I've been through many wars that you don't see on TV because you only really see the ones that people talk about all the time. I would say therapy is really good. Find something to release your stress one way or another. For me, besides therapy, working out works for me. It kind of just is very therapeutic. Whatever negative energy I have, it just not completely goes away, but it goes away enough to allow me to be able to just wake up every day and just have that energy in order to be able to continue to do what I do. I feel like you have to find something, and for everybody's different. I mean, I recommend therapy, but I understand that not everybody is on board with that. And obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not. I'm just giving you advice as a veteran and a person who's been through war. And I think if you don't want to do therapy, have at least someone to talk to, whether it's a friend, a sister, a brother, someone neutral. Sometimes even for me personally, I would prefer to speak to somebody neutral because as much as I love my family, they can't be completely objective when I'm talking to them. So I like to talk to someone who's completely objective and listening to whatever it is that I'm saying.
yeah. I can relate to that because I've had so I usually don't talk to like family or a therapist whenever something's bothering me. I have a best friend of mine. If you're aware of my other group channel I'm a part of, the Yin and Yang Show, Yang would be the person that I talk to. I've known him for years upon years. So he's like my therapist. Like if something ever happens between us, one of us is gonna have to go because we know too much.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
There's a few people that know a lot of stuff about me that it's not that it's bad. It's just that, when you're as a veteran, people will take sides on things you have to do. When you're in war, unfortunately, whether people like it or not, it's either that person or you. That
Yeah.
when it comes to war, if someone's trying to hurt you or worse, you have to defend yourself, and not everybody understands that. They see, oh, I hate war or this and that. I said, but you don't know the situation. As a veteran, I can look at it from that side. It's not that I'm for war. Of course, I'm never for war. But there are some times when you're in a battlefield where there are no choices. The choices are two. Either you live or the other person lives.
Yeah.
That's the only two choices.
Now, when on the topic of you being a veteran, for the other veterans out there, if we ever have any that listens to us, what would be advice for them if like for them dealing with with PTSD or if they have any other kind of mental illness? How what advice would you give them?
I would say I know as a soldier it's really hard because you're proud and you don't want to admit that you need help. But it's okay to admit that you need help, whether you want to do it anonymously or through someone else. Find a space to be able to do that because it's letting all that stuff stay in your head. It's not going to help you, and if you have a family, it's not going to. It's going to unfortunately negatively affect your family. Well, even if if you don't purposely want to do that, that's what's going to happen. I would say try to find a way to get and it's hard, I know, because when you're on the battlefield, you're taught to be tough, strong, never be weak. But it's also okay. It's also strong to actually ask for help because we all need help one way or another, whether you're a veteran or not. And mental health affects all of us.
Okay, okay. Now changing on a brighter note, back on the topic of you with the food tasting and the traveling. Is there any dish that you tried that you either regret or you dislike?
Oh yes, there's probably a few. There is. I don't want to name the country because I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
Yeah, no, no, just the
But
food, just the food.
Um, but there was fermented tofu that was fermented for God knows how long. How long. But let's just say from the moment you bite it, it's just completely awful.
Oh God.
There's nothing, I wish I could say something redeeming about it. And the other one, which is popular in a specific part of the world, which is balut, which is the unhatched egg, the embryo.
Yeah.
It's tough to eat.
Oh
Very
jeez.
tough to eat. I've eaten it, and
I'm
I've
back,
eaten a lot of
guys.
it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
welcome back, Al.
welcome
Ooh.
back, Alan.
And I don't know if you saw in the corner down there, but my friend put up the suicide hotline for anyone
Oh
who's out there
yes, yes.
watching.
Boom. There it is right there. Yeah, for those of you who are
There's that.
watching, if you also suffer through mental illness, you should look down below. That's where you can go for professional help. Because we're not professionals. We can just give you advice and whatnot. But those are the real professional heroes right there.
If you
Yep.
want, I could translate in Spanish. Si cualquier persona que tenga problemas mentalmente, tienen un número ahí abajo que puedes llamar para que pidas ayuda, por favor. Todos necesitamos ayuda. So yeah,
That
so
is,
I just want to help you with the
did,
Spanish speaking.
I was about to say, did you just say that in Spanish? That's kind of cool. I was like, wait, is he like the Spanish version of what I said? That's cool.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That is cool. I'm trying to think what else we got. Alan, you got any questions, my good sir?
Yeah. So, like, you, let me see how I can word this. Well, it's not exactly a question, but
Okay?
yesterday was May the 4th be with you. Today
Yes,
is Cinco de Mayo. So,
yes,
anyone
yes.
who celebrates that, have fun.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, I'm here in Puebla, which is ironically, as you mentioned that. And Cinco de Mayo is actually the Battle of Puebla, which a lot of people don't know. They just think it's all of Mexico. But it's actually the Battle of Puebla, where the French helped defeat whoever was trying to take the freedom of people in Mexico. So that's actually what the Cinco de Mayo stands for, is the Battle of Puebla. And I happen to be in Puebla right now. I've been here. I was contracted to film a festival, which was called Semitas. Semitas is like it's like this big sandwich. Like for us as Americans, we would probably consider it's a huge sandwich. But here it's called Semitas. It's a specific kind of bread that has just a unique flavor. It's unique to Mexico, of course. It's incredible, and it's just funny how much space you have in your stomach to eat. Because usually semitas are very big. They're usually a half a kilo or bigger.
Hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I
Isn't
didn't
that
know that
also
about
like the Day of
Cinco
the
de
Dead
Mayo.
too?
Say that one again, Alan.
Isn't that like the Day of the Dead where they celebrate the dead?
Oh, that's November 2nd, yes. Well, it's actually what they do, they coincide now because Halloween has become so big in Mexico. They do it from the 31st till basically the first 2 weeks of November. Dia de los Muertos, which is a huge celebration here in Mexico. It's incredible. If you've never experienced it, guys, I would suggest at some point in your life to come to Mexico and experience it. It's really a cultural experience. They have special kinds of food that they make during that time. You get to paint your face. I mean, it's just incredible.
Hmm. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Growing up, I always thought this is growing up. I know the difference now, but I always thought Cinco de Mayo and Day of the Dead was the same. And I now realize it is not.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah,
It's two different things. Cinco de Mayo specifically is the Battle of Puebla, and the Day of the Dead is a celebration of all of Mexico, where Cinco de Mayo is usually specifically Puebla, where they do the big
gotcha.
celebration. Because if you go to
Okay.
different parts of Mexico,
Yeah, and
there
that's
is
kind of where I had to ask if like Cinco de Mayo was like the Day of the Dead and stuff too, because like I always thought growing up that it was the same.
no, it's not at all.
Well,
It's completely
now,
different.
now you know, Alan. Now you know.
It's
Yeah,
I ain't gonna.
specifically to the region of Puebla, the Cinco de Mayo.
I ain't gonna lie. I've seen stuff about the Day of the Dead. I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but speaking of Day of the Dead, which is in November, um, I've always like heard stuff on either TV or the internet about it, and I'm like, ooh, this seems fun. Definitely something
It is.
I wanna look into.
You would love it. It's an experience I recommend anyone, no matter where you're from around the world, to come and experience. It's a very transcendent experience. It will make you. It will give you a different point of view. Where most of the time when you think of the dead, you always think of mourning and sadness.
Yeah,
And here is a celebration of the life that person had. Because you also, during the Day of the Dead, a lot of families go gather in, if they're not cremated, they go to the tombstone and they bring, like, whatever their favorite drink was, and they also bring their own drinks when they celebrate with the family, and special food and special bread, which is called pan de los muertos. It's a bread that's usually made out of orange and many other different ingredients. It's specifically made during that time, October, November, pan de los muertos. So it's the bread for the dead.
okay. Now switching topics back to the with the holiday that is today. For the people that are watching, do you have any plans for Cinco de Mayo? Like plans as in like any food reviews coming?
Oh, I've done a bunch. I mean, I've been here for a few days. Well, I'm here till tomorrow in Puebla. where Cinco de Mayo really is celebrated the most in Mexico. And yeah, and we're gonna go to a market. We already did a festival of specific food from Puebla, which is the one that I told you about, semita, which is the big sandwich. So there's a huge festival here in Puebla about that. It's really big. I mean, it gets
Yeah.
many. It's super crowded. It's incredible. But you get to also experience like the mole. The mole comes from Puebla, but also Oaxaca. But a lot of foreigners that come here try the mole poblano, which is a specific and a unique way. They have like so many, more than 50 ingredients. So even if you try to copy it, it's really difficult because each chef has their own way of making mole. So we'll talk about mole, we'll talk about semitas, and we'll talk about a bunch of other stuff that comes specifically from Puebla in the celebration of Puebla and also the celebration of Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. Now, what was it? Oh, back on the sorry, the tism brain of me. I switch back to topics. Um, but so I'm back on the topic with the food. So, has there ever been any time while you're reviewing food? Has there ever been a meal that you could not finish?
As far as whether I liked it or
Just like either whether you liked it or like it was either you were too full and you couldn't finish it, or it was disgusting to where I can't finish this.
I think I've had both sides. I've had where it was just from the very, to say for me, usually, honestly, from the first bite, which is usually for me the first few seconds, I know whether I like a dish or not. I don't really need to continue to eat and eat and eat and eat. So I've had that several times, of course, because you not everything is going to be great, But of course, the one thing I do follow is a rule of my one thing my father taught me is that really you don't need to put down a restaurant, even though you may not like it. There is an audience that likes it, so we will never on social media put down a restaurant, even if I personally don't like the food. Now, if you ask me directly, I will give you my opinion, but I will never use social media to hurt the business. And of
Okay.
course, we've done a lot of challenges where we'll get what they call semita of like 5 kilos, 10 kilos. And of course, it's impossible to finish. And for
Yeah.
people that know, each kilo is like 2.2 pounds. So
Damn.
if you're thinking about somebody trying to eat 5 kilos,
Yeah.
it's a lot of food.
That's definitely a lot. You said so. You were saying that you do challenges and stuff. What is kind of a two-parter question? The toughest challenge you had, and what's the most fun challenge that you did?
The toughest challenge are usually the spice challenge. And the reason why is because, especially in Mexico or Thailand or even Vietnam, usually when I'm filming, because we usually have an agreement already with the restaurant, they want to put as much chili as possible. Okay, it's great for the viewer, but for your stomach, obviously, your stomach has a limit to how much spice that you can eat. And I love spicy food. But I've had a few challenges where it was just like I I actually did the whole challenge, but I paid for it, if you know what I mean, a few days later, without getting
Yeah.
descriptive. And as far as fun, I think for me personally, every challenge is fun because whether it's a spice challenge or a dessert challenge, I love challenging myself in general. And I'm always excited when there's a new challenge, something I haven't done and I want to conquer it. And of course, like everything in life, you don't always conquer everything, but I will definitely give it a good fight.
Okay.
Are all like
Okay.
Mexican food kind of spicy, or is that just like depends on what you put on it?
Well, if you compare it to the Mexican food that you're used to in the U.S., yes, it is spicy. Like one of the biggest surprises for a lot of my friends is the guacamole, because the way it's made in the U.S. it's kind of sweet, and then when they actually come to Mexico, because usually in the guacamole here they usually put chili and different kinds of chili. and it's depending on the chef. And each chef uses different kinds of chili. Some more spicy, some less spicy. So they always shock when they eat guacamole. They're like, oh man, it's nothing like what I think guacamole is. I said, well, this is actually typical in Mexico. The guacamole that we eat in the U.S. or even the tacos, they're very Americanized. So a lot of the flavors are changed to fit people in the U.S. so they can handle it and they can eat it.
Okay. I was gonna say, Alan, do you have any more questions for Mr. Fernando?
No, but I want to say something though.
Okay.
As we're starting to get toward the deadline at 30 minutes, does anyone want to to tell our audience where where they can find you guys or find all of it,
Sure. Do you want me to go first?
like social media wise? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like where can they find you, Fernando? Social media. And plus, if anything, I'll make sure to put it in the description below when this does upload on YouTube. But for the ones watching live, where can they find you?
Sure. If you look for me on TikTok, it's Fernando Rosario 110. Rosario is Rosario, and it's one word because if you separate it, you're gonna get a ton of Fernandos.
Yeah.
On Instagram and Facebook, and even TikTok, because I have a second TikTok as well. It's called Fernando Abroad, basically Fernando Traveling. And on YouTube is Fernando Foodie. And you can also find our show, Fernando's uh, for food adventures on Spotify, which we're doing really well. We're up to about 70 countries that listen to us. So we're really excited to continue to grow. We're already planning our fifth season. And yeah, we're excited about everything that's coming. And like I said, watch out for some projects that are coming from Netflix. We are working with Amazon as well and some other streaming services that we can't say because we're still negotiating. But we're excited about the future.
All right. Thank you very much for taking time out to come to the corner. That is the Nerds Corner.
Thank you both for inviting me. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I was excited about it, and I'm even more excited doing it live.
All right,
Yeah.
Alan, you got. I was gonna say, you got any more final words before we cue our outro?
Yes. This is an open invitation to anyone of the past guests or anyone in the future. You are more than welcome to come on the Nerds Corner podcast.
Yes. Our only
I
rule:
support you.
keep it respectful, keep it peaceful, and we're gonna be vibing.
Yeah.
I recommend them. And for my Spanish viewers, por favor, vean el show de Alan y Warlock. Son increíbles. Hablan de muchas cosas que son serias, pero son necesarios. Y gracias a todas las personas que siguen a ellos, por favor. Y muchas gracias.
All right, you guys, y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll catch you all on the flip side. Until next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Peace.
Have a great day.